Good evening and welcome to Ask the Mayor. Tonight is another T-shirt night, so everyone who calls in with either a question or a comment will receive absolutely free a Channel 30 TV T-shirt. It's a really attractive T-shirt, so don't hesitate to call in. Let me tell you a little bit about what Ask the Mayor is. It is a live call-in show. It's your opportunity to make a comment or ask a question of Mayor Barbara Rogers, who is sitting here next to me. Good evening, Barbara.
Good evening, Dorothy.
Just dial 252-4641. Please give your name and your T-shirt size and sort of a brief rundown of what you want to speak with Barbara about to the person who answers the call. And then your call will be put through into council chamber, and you will have the opportunity for a two-way live conversation with Barbara. Please get your calls in as soon as possible. We seem to be running into a situation where a lot of calls come at the end of the show, and then we aren't able to handle them all. So in order to make sure that you have the opportunity to talk to the mayor tonight, please call right away. But to start out, Barbara would like to tell you a little bit about what kind of decisions the council made at their meeting last night. Barbara, could you tell us what actions council did take?
I'd be glad to, Dorothy. Among the things that I think would be of interest to everybody who's watching, we approved an application from Contra Becky, which would be removing the Lost Mine restaurant there on the corner of Miller and Richwood, and building in its place an office building. And I think that will certainly clean up that corner tremendously. The next thing on the agenda after that was the request from John Vidovich to reduce the amount of landscaping required on the property he wants to develop on the north side of Stevens Creek, just east of De Anza. And we continued that to May 19th, along with looking at the mechanism for the in lieu fee for the below market rate units, BMR units, that have been started but not completed. Those two items are on the 19th because the May 5th agenda looks very large. The next thing we did was to approve the revised phasing schedule for construction of the homes on Seven Springs Ranch. We allowed the Fairchild Semiconductor exception to a sign. In other words, we're giving them a sign on their building with the orientation towards the freeway. We said there could only be one sign on that building with that kind of orientation, and we referred to planning a review of the sign ordinance to see what changes needed to be made because it's been so long since we reviewed it. We decided to issue bonds to finance the expansion of the City Hall, the expansion of the library, and the construction of a community center. And we authorized staff to hire a real estate appraiser to appraise the city properties to begin that whole process of issuing bonds. We decided to prohibit parking on Orange Avenue during the week because people have been troubled with having students parking there that went to Monte Vista High School. That won't go into effect for a month and a half because of the way state law works in regard to ordinances.
Barbara, it looks like some of the people watching are calling in earlier this week.
Right.
So let's take that first phone call. Hello, and welcome to Ask the Mayor.
Yes, my question for the mayor is in regard to a hillside on Cordova Road. I live on Cordova Road. And, there are about 5 houses up here on Cordova Road. In '82, we had a mudslide from above, and this last winter was very difficult. And we had further mudslides, and now Cordova Road is about half filled with mud and dirt from that slide. And all of the neighbors have been in contact with the city, and we've been trying to see if we could get something done about this. It's a shared responsibility because of the slide actually affects people from up above on San Juan their road is affected, and of course we get the worst of it down below because the water comes over the road and it actually went under one house, the Chu's house, one of my neighbors, and it's just a very difficult problem. I think if anybody from the city were to come out and examine Cordova Road between Mercedes and San Juan, it's blocked off, but if anyone just drive up Cordova Road, they'd see that if we had another difficult winter next year, it could create all kinds of problems up here.
You're right, it is a bad problem. I remember how it was in '82, and we went through the whole exploration process to see what the city could do legally and what would happen if we did more than was legally required, what kind of a bad legal situation that would put us into. What the situation is it's because the people up there built that when they weren't supposed to and according to codes where they weren't supposed to back when that was in the county, unfortunately. That really doesn't help you very much. And as you know, what we did do was block off that road and make it just one way up and then back down, but not through, to try and cut down on the danger because it is so narrow. In any event, it would be impossible to move dirt right now because it's still wet underneath and it would create a very dangerous situation. More could slide down.
Right.
There is litigation in process, as I understand it, and it's with the people up above who have built that home from which all the land slid. And unfortunately, the legal process being what it is, it takes a long time, and when you try to intercept it or try to do something more quickly, you usually end up with a greater legal liability, whether it's an individual or the city, and sometimes more than you can afford. This is not an answer that helps you at all. It's one of these unfortunate legal morasses that our system of government occasionally throws up. I don't know what to tell you.
It's difficult, Barbara, and I think because of the litigation, our hands are tied in certain respects until that is settled. I really think probably a good thing to do would be, if you haven't already done this, sir, is to contact our Director of Public Works, Bert Viskovich, during the normal work week at 252-4505. I almost forgot my own phone number here, because I know he has been greatly involved in this.
Yes, we have been in contact with him. My concern, actually, I'm down a little bit from the road, and I'm not going to be immediately affected, but my neighbors, if, for instance, if we had a bad winter next winter, and that whole hill came down, it could, there's a big tree up there that could land on one of my neighbors' houses, and and we're not concerned about Cordova Road actually being closed down, because that isn't inconvenient. But it's just in case we do have another bad winter next winter, it could be very threatening.
I understand what your concern is. I know the road, and it's, of course, made even worse in very wet winters when springs that haven't bubbled to the surface suddenly start coming to the surface, and that makes the water situation even worse. I know precisely what you're talking about, and I wish I had a good answer for you.
Well, thank you anyway.
That doesn't help you, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, caller.
And don't forget did we ask the trivia question?
We haven't got to that yet.
Would you be interested in trying for the trivia question?
Well, go ahead. I doubt it.
If you're watching the show, it will come up later, and perhaps you'd like to call back if you have the answer.
Okay.
All right? Thank you. Speaking of that, Barbara, maybe you would like to say what the trivia question is. After Mayor Rogers gives the trivia question, if you do have the correct answer, or what you think is the correct answer, please call us at the number that you see on your screen. That's 252-4641. And if you do know that answer, you will receive the Channel 30 sweatshirt. Okay, Barbara, what is the trivia question tonight?
Tonight, the question is the name of a very famous Cupertinan, and this is his description. I was born in the Santa Clara Valley in 1892 when it was nothing more than orchards and vineyards. Through my love of both history and poetry, I wrote much about the life and vitality of this community. In fact, I watched this region transform from the Valley of Heart's Delight to what we now know as Silicon Valley. I was the founding member of the Trianon Foundation, the Cupertino Historical Society, and the El Camino Trust for Historical Preservation, just to name a few. I even have a library named after me. Who am I? If anybody knows, please call in and tell us, and then you will get the really great-looking sweatshirt.
Okay. Also, if you have a question or a comment for Mayor Rogers, please call in with that question or comment. The number is 252-4641. And Barbara, maybe we could get back now to the actions that council took at their meeting last night.
All right, there are 2 or 3 other things that I think are of interest. We agreed to widen Stevens Creek on the north side just east of De Anza, in front of Key Chevrolet. What we're going to do is have a double left turn lane there, and it would prohibit curbside parking. But we're going to widen it so that there will be curbside parking. That will benefit Key Chevrolet, and because of that, Key Chevrolet will pay for that extra widening. So when you see that happening, you'll know why. We also approved an agreement with the City of San Jose to widen Saratoga-Sunnyvale Road between Kentwood and Prospect. So that should help that situation.
That is terrific. Yes.
And we approved an agreement with De Anza College for tennis court lighting over there at the college. I think that about covers what we did last night. It wasn't too long a meeting, but we had a lot of issues.
Yes, we did. And I see we have another caller here. Hello, and welcome to Ask the Mayor.
Good evening. How are you?
Good evening. Answer to the trivia question, Mr. Stockelmeyer.
You're right.
That's it. That's fantastic. We didn't even have to give a hint.
Would you like to tell us who you are?
Sure, Ross Schweitzer.
Well, congratulations. I'm glad you're so conversant with Cupertino history. And did you have any other questions, or did you just call in with the answer?
Only that I'll be on your at the City Hall the 5th of May to talk about the closing of the Pacifica.
Great. You are leading us into the next thing that we're going to be talking about, which of course is the next council meeting on the 5th, when we will be going over the trial closure that we've had there in your area at Pacifica and Whitney and at Antoinette. And we'll also to see how you all like it and how well it's worked, and if you want to continue it or make it more drastic or do away with it. We'll also look at whatever we can do to help keep the traffic that will result from the development of the Cali property from coming into your area. So that's a very important meeting. I look forward to seeing you and all your neighbors there.
Okay, I watch your shows every once in a while. I enjoy them.
Well, I'm glad to hear
Yes.
that. Thank you very much.
terrific.
And thanks for calling in.
Okay.
Be sure you leave your name and sweatshirt size with the operator so we have the right one for you. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you. That's terrific. And I want to mention that following this show tonight will be a Cupertino Perspective, which is about the 30 years of transition of the city of Cupertino. And it's a really interesting show with some interviews with some longtime residents. And right now we're going to take a quick break for about 1 minute, and then we'll be back to answer more of your questions. Thank you. Hello and welcome back to Ask the Mayor. I'm Dorothy Cornelius, City Clerk, and next to me is Barbara Rogers, our Mayor. And Barbara, since we had such a quick answer to our last trivia question, do you have another one for us?
Yes, indeed. As a matter of fact, I do. And this trivia question is, what educational institution recently established its engineering technology school in Cupertino? And if you need a hint, this institution just celebrated its 99th birthday.
Okay, terrific. I expect that one of you will be able to call in with that answer, 252-4641. Or if you have a question or comment, the same phone number, which you see on your screen. Thank you. Okay. Barbara, you did mention the public hearing on the traffic that will be held May 5th. And I know that we are expecting a lot of people and a lot of interest in that particular public hearing.
Right, and very properly.
Yes, but what I really want to ask you about now is, I know last weekend, I believe it was last weekend, was sort of a Toyokawa weekend here in Cupertino.
Wasn't it great?
It was beautiful, and I think the weather was nice, and
Yes.
there was the Cherry Blossom Festival. Who came from Toyokawa?
Toyokawa is our sister city in Japan. The mayor came with 6 other people. It was 5, and then there was a 6th. And they were all businessmen in the community, except for one of his staff and one doctor from the university, from the hospital. And they came solely for the Cherry Blossom Festival, which was really grand, but it was a very quick visit. The festival was great for a number of reasons. That was one of them. The weather, of course, was marvelous, and all the people who helped make it such a good event really made the difference, I think. There was so much participation from people in the community, groups, individuals, the Sister City Committee, the Chamber, the people who work over there at the Oak Shopping Center, Kathy Nunes, just so many folks. And the program that they had lined up was marvelous. I love the taiko drummers, the dancing, the singing, the Japanese food. It was all just fantastic.
Well, I see this as a really great way to cement a bond between not just our 2 cities, but even between 2 countries. Are we planning to send a group over to Toyokawa soon?
I'm starting to try to arrange a city delegation trip the end of September, 1st of October. So that would be open to people in the community to attend. I want very much to go, and it looks now as though that will be very possible. And there will be more information appearing about that in the scene as plans develop. I wasn't able to go last time, couldn't afford it. But I've been saving my money, and I would truly love to go and see Japan because I've never been.
I think that was a great comment, because it's important that the people know the city is not paying for this. The individuals who go do pay for their trip, although the city certainly does prosper and benefit from it in many ways. Barbara, I don't recall, and maybe I wasn't paying sharp enough attention, but last night at the meeting, I know the council received a report regarding Operation Sentinel, and I don't know if you mentioned it or not, but...
No, I didn't.
Oh, I'm glad. I'm glad. Anyway, I think it's something new. We've had it in the city for 6 months, and perhaps the people watching would like to know what Operation Sentinel is and how it is working in our city.
Operation Sentinel is a service for which the city pays to help people who are renters to come to terms of satisfaction with their landlords when there's a problem. The people from Operation Sentinel are trained, and they can come in, well, before they would even come in, they can counsel by telephone as to perhaps the best way to proceed if there is a problem. If the problem can't be resolved, they will mediate. And they've had good success at that so far, though they've only been working for the city of Cupertino for 6 months. And we feel it's important because there had been so many instances we'd heard of where there were either increases in rents that seemed exorbitant, or landlords, according to the renters, were not being reasonable. And the city people here don't have the very specialized expertise to deal with that, nor the time really to do that too. So in a sense, we hired it out.
Right. It certainly seems to be fulfilling its purpose in our city. I know they've had several instances of mediation, and they do seem to have resolved certain problems that have occurred.
So we had the 6-month report as to how things were going, and that was very positive. Then in another 6 months, we'll have a review to see if indeed it's doing what we hope it will do and expect from it, and if we want to continue it.
All right. Anyone out there who has a question regarding this or any other matter that's going on in the city, please don't hesitate to call and talk with Mayor Rogers. The number is 252-4641. And if you watch Channel 30 or any of the other community channels, I believe they're 3 and 29, you might be interested in knowing that this weekend, there's a whole week of May 5th through May 9th at Valco Fashion Park will be a community channels information. I guess it's going to be like a booth, something like that, and there will be information available regarding those 3 community channels, as well as samples of some of the programs that are shown. So I would think it'd be rather interesting to drop by, talk to some people about these channels, pick up some information, and get kind of a sampling of some of the programs that are seen. I'm going to assume Ask the Mayor will be seen a little bit too.
Perhaps.
Please call in with comments and questions, or if you have the answer to our second trivia question, you might want to call in with that. Barbara, would you repeat that question for us, please?
Certainly, be glad to. The question is, what educational institution recently established its engineering technology school in Cupertino? And further, this institution just celebrated its 99th birthday. Do you know what institution that would be?
If you do know, please don't hesitate, give us a call, and a Channel 30 sweatshirt will be yours. Okay. I also do want to mention that on this channel next Monday night at 7:30 will be the regular meeting of the Planning Commission, and the next City Council meeting is May 5th at 6:45. Barbara, another thing that you did last night was honor a particular week, which happens to be this week. Perhaps you'd like to mention what it was and how the city honored it.
We honored National Secretaries Week, and we did that by issuing a proclamation proclaiming that this week is National Secretaries Week in Cupertino. I think this is very important because secretaries are really the backbone, I think, of any organization. We wouldn't do very well without them. And it's a little enough remembrance or acknowledgement of all their services, but we were glad to do that.
Barbara, we do have a caller waiting. Hello, caller, and welcome to Ask the Mayor.
How you doing?
Fine, thanks. How are you?
Good. I have an answer to your trivia question.
Good.
I believe it's Cosgrove.
I'm sorry?
Cosgrove.
Could you spell it? I can't understand your pronunciation.
Hold on a sec. Spell it. Cozgrove. Is that correct?
No.
COS?
Not quite. You're close.
Oh, it's so
What
close.
did I say? You're warm?
Very warm.
Oh, well, if anybody out there knows it, then I just gave them a hint, I guess. They
Yes,
could
you
figure
did.
it out for
You
themselves.
gave a big hint.
Now, if we could give you a sleeve of a sweatshirt.
Oh, dear.
Oh, well. Well, thank
Sorry.
you very much. Sorry, I tried.
But when you hear the answer, you'll never forget it, right?
That's for sure.
You're going to kick yourself, actually, for not having it, because it was so close. Let's give a small hint, okay? This college was originally founded in San Francisco, and recently it was the use permit to open in Cupertino was approved by our city council. Now that might help a little bit for somebody out there. And one more hint later if nobody gets it, okay? I'd want to remind you to stay tuned after this show for Cupertino Perspective. It's 30 years of change and transition. And our next installment of Ask the Mayor will be at 7 p.m. on May 6th, the night following that council meeting.
So it'll be interesting to report to all of you what indeed we decided after the public hearing concerning all the traffic in the Eaton School area. I hope that it's a public hearing where we have a lot of light shed and not too much heat, and because we really want to do the very best we can for the people who live there. And I've found really that the people in this town are very courteous and very understanding, and I look forward to a great meeting.
I do too, and I expect a large crowd. I just hope
yes.
the public hearing is over before the Ask the Mayor show is supposed to
Well,
start.
that would be nice, too. We'll see what we see.
I want to thank all of you for watching us tonight. We really do enjoy your calls and your comments. And You were very close on the second trivia question, but there was no winner on that one.
We'll save it till next time.
All right, we'll do that. By then you have a chance to look it up. Barbara, I want to thank you for another nice half hour with you.
Thank you, Dorothy.
All right. And those of you who have any questions that you haven't been able to speak with the mayor about tonight, be sure to call City Hall Monday through Friday, 252-4505. And thank you, and good night.
Good night.
Good night, Barbara.